Hey y'all, this video is going to be different. So welcome back to Misguided Intuition, where I usually try to tell you better than I could tell myself. Usually you're here for a reading, and I was thinking, excuse me, I had mentioned that I was going to review a book a little while back, and also I was thinking that as more people come to the channel, watch the videos, watch the readings, and subscribe, that's more of y'all who, in a way, choose to come to my channel and interact, have energy exchange, and place trust in, the advice that I'm giving you. And y'all don't know anything about me. So this is going to be a part book review, part a little bit about me. So, yeah. So we'll go with about me first and get that out of the way. My name is Melissa. I'm 44. I currently reside in Texas. I want to go back to Wisconsin, where I grew up. I don't particularly care to live here any longer. I am involved in a miserable marriage. I guess this would be my karmic, right? And I'm looking to get out of that. And that's as much as I'm going to say about that. I have children. They're all grown. 3 girls. I have 6 dogs. I have 3 cats. One of my children has 1 dog and 3 cats. And one of my children has a rabbit. And my other child has beat us all back home. So she is back up north. I'm using the youngest child's bedroom at the house that we currently live at as my studio. Everything that I film is filmed on a Samsung Galaxy S21 base model. It's not the Ultra or whatever, just the base model. So I film it. It all gets edited in CapCut on a laptop that my mom purchased for me because I accidentally got water on my other one. I was watering plants and then I was like draining them out, and then I didn't realize there was standing water on the counter, and I had my laptop sitting on the counter, and that wasn't excellent. So my mother saved the day as usual. My eldest daughter is the one who actually taught me how to process my videos and get my YouTube set up and get my YouTube studio and all that stuff. Let's talk about tarot. How did I get into this? How did I get on this path? When I was younger, I was always drawn to all things, okay? Like, I believe in God, right? But I believe that there's more than one. I believe that there are many higher powers. I don't believe that it's just one, but that's my belief. Like, what you believe is what you believe, and you are entitled to that, and I'm entitled to mine, and that's that. So, that being said, like, the first thing I ever picked up was a book from Llewellyn Publishing, talking about how to develop and use psychometry, which is a form of energy work where you can pick this item up, right? And you can feel the energies within it. Say like you go to your grandparents' house and you sit in your grandpa's favorite chair where he always took a nap, and it always makes you feel relaxed and sleepy. It's kind of like that. You pick up the vibe. You walk into a room where there was just an argument. You can feel the electricity in the air. It's very uncomfortable. You don't want to be there. It's like that. But, learning how to actually go out and do it intentionally, right, was the first book. The second book I picked up, I'm assuming it was also from Llewellyn Publishing, and it was about color therapy, which now we talk about chakra healing and things like that. I was maybe between 14 and 16 at the time. Before I ever picked up cards, I picked up a set of rune stones. I practiced with them. I have a tendency when you pull them, I think you're supposed to read them right to left. I have a tendency to read left to right because my brain just goes that way. I do everything backwards. I'm left-handed. So there's that. Yeah, and like people weren't really encouraging. People weren't really open about that. Like I was in my teens in the mid 90s, right? So like it was like if you knew, you knew, and if you didn't know, you didn't get it. And people fear and reject things that are different, that they don't understand. So I got a lot of slack for that, and oh, you shouldn't be dabbling in that, and that's dark, and that's this, and that's that. And me being a teenager, I let life happen, and I listened to my peers, and I did what everyone else was doing, and It took many, many years. Like, it's always been there. I've always felt that something was different. I've always felt like something, but I just never really, like, took notice, paid attention the way that I ought to have. I feel that if I had earlier on, it would have been more beneficial in my life, and then in effect in my children's lives, right? Let's see. So it wasn't until being here in Texas, I moved here to get married to somebody that was my best friend. That went well, not, but it was through going through processing everything that has happened here. It's like I started feeling a shift in my energy. I allowed myself for some time to get into a really dark place, and like, it's like I didn't really give up, but I wasn't really trying either. I was just kind of hanging in limbo and doing nothing. And I reconnected with an old friend of mine that I had met like way back in 2010 through my cousin. Shout out to Ray if you see this video. And she's also very spiritual. She is a practicing witch. She's very creative. And she was just really like, it was like the universe just like shoved her back into my path. And I'm so grateful for it because of her, because of talking to her and stuff. I kind of started out with candles, starting to do things with candle work to try to like self-love type of work. Okay, I'm very big on self-love and protection. And it moved into like, I went and I grabbed a deck of tarot cards. So I did previously own one deck. I actually have them here. Hold on. I came to this video unprepared, y'all. Which is kind of just how I am. No matter how much I try to be prepared. So the first deck I ever owned was this one, the Tarot of Mermaids. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. We're sitting back probably between 2010 and 2014. Me and my other friend, Zeppelina. Sorry for just busting your name out on the channel, but there it is. My best friend, Elle. We're sitting at the kitchen table, acting like we knew what the hell we were doing. Trying to read these and trying to use our intuition to choose which cards to pull and learn how to read. And we didn't know what we were doing. These are also from Llewellyn. I want to say, yeah, these are Los Scarabeo. Is that how you say it, deck? I'm going to leave it Spanish side up because the boobies are less exposed. And I guess YouTube feels some type of way about that. So that was the first deck I had. So once I started talking to my friend Ray and working with candles, and we started talking about herbs and crystals and witchcraft and energy work and all this stuff, I went to a local shop here and I picked up this Tarot of the Cat People by Karen Kendall. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And for a long, long time, we nicknamed this the asshole deck because every time I threw cards with this, it just kept handing me my ass, like for realsies. I joined groups on Facebook, both like tarot and like witchy and spiritual, anything and everything. I was just going through. It was like I was becoming a sponge. I was just trying to absorb all the knowledge about all the things to try to learn everything. I'm always trying to learn everything, right? But in doing so, I became involved in a tarot exercise. It was a shadow work exercise where every day they gave a prompt in the group, and I kept a journal and I threw the cards, and then we would like figure out what the message was, and then we would share a picture of our reading and then share what we interpreted the message as. And so it was very eye-opening. I definitely still was getting my ass handed to me, okay? And it was very eye-opening, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed the learning process. And since then, I've been involved in other little group things. I've taken little, like, learning about the moon cycles, like the free courses that come up on Facebook, and then, like, on day 5, they try to sell you the, like, $1,000 course or whatever. But I go through the 5 days of the free training because it is still something to learn. So I've done the little free classes for like the moon cycles, working with your moon sign and things like that. what was the one? The chakras, different things about the chakras, which I'm still, you know, I have books about that as well. Like, I have books. I have so many books that I need to read from cover to cover that I have not. I've had trouble sitting down and focusing. And then with the tarot one, the most recent one I did was, it kind of opened my eyes to, it was like how you communicate with others. And it was kind of helped in that I found, like, when I talk to my kids, when you know, if you're a parent, you'll get this, right? You try to tell your kids something because you know it, because you've been through it, and you just want the best thing for them, and you try to give them advice. But your words and your advice become colored from your past experiences and your emotions that are attached to that. I have a problem with that. Sometimes I have a problem bringing too much of my previous feelings into the current advice, which is not necessarily their current situation that I'm trying to help with. So it doesn't end up being received very well. Where if I could give the same advice less emotionally, more objectively, it would be received that much better. I've blessed my children because they confirmed that with me, that is a big part of the issue. So so I've done a lot of learning there. And as you can see, if you've been on the channel, I have a lot of cards. I have a lot of tarot cards. I have a lot of oracle cards. I have astrology cards. I have fortune telling cards. I have actually like 3 sets of runes. I have, no, lie, 1, 2, 3. Is it 3? 3 or 4? I don't know. Another good friend of mine, also named Melissa, she sent me these really pretty altar cloths, and she found a set of runes. They were like engraved onto chunks of opalite, which is really pretty. Oh, somebody texted me. So that was my mommy. But so I've gotten a lot of support from my friends and my family anyway on my path. Some people don't get it, and that's fine. Not everybody gets it. And I'm assuming if you made it to the channel, you kind of do, or you want to. So things I'm very big on. I'm very big on protecting my energy. That's this book, right? I'm very big on protecting my energy. I'm very big on protecting my peace. I'm very big on learning and growth and progress. And one of my lessons personally, I've been trying to learn more about astrology and working with my natal chart, and learning like the whole like north node, south node thing, where like what you excelled in the past and the lesson you have to learn in this lifetime kind of thing. And so like what I was good at is kind of like what I'm into now, and the lesson that I need to learn is that I have a tendency to put everybody else first, and I have a tendency to give so much of myself to other people at my own to my own detriment, like at my own cost. Like, I want the best of everything for my kids and my family, and I will put everything on hold for my kids. And then because I do that, I prevent myself from making any progress. When in all actuality, the way it should go is that I should go ahead and do the things that I'm supposed to be doing, like such as this YouTube channel, right? Because if this goes well in the long run, aside from the sheer joy that I actually feel doing this, because I do love doing this, I love helping people, and this is a way for me to do it. This is a way for me to feel like I'm helping people, basically, and to use. It's really cool to feel like you have a gift for, or a knack for doing something, but to just sit at home at your kitchen table and do it by yourself every night is not quite as fulfilling as being able to share it like worldwide, right? So my point that I was making is, it would be better for me to put myself first and to grow this thing here on YouTube, or however this goes about, and eventually have something to leave for my kids, for one, and also as I'm learning, I'm setting an example for my children to learn from me as well. So so then, because they've seen me at my lowest, and that's embarrassing. It actually makes me sick to my stomach, and it makes me want to cry to know that my children have seen me at my absolute lowest, and I want them to see me, I want them to see me breaking through the ceiling instead, right? So, things that go on behind the scenes that nobody sees before the readings. I do cleanse my space. I do off camera, in my own private way. I do my own stuff before recording. I cleanse the cards. I usually use sound and incense or sage smoke to cleanse my cards and my crystals and everything. I do have, you know, my little sound bowl here. I would like to get one of the bigger ones that makes the deeper sound eventually, for charging stuff. My middle daughter, it's got ashes on it, bought me this beautiful selenite slab with the tree of life that almost has this like goddess like figure in it with the sun and the moon. It's just really beautiful. I think she got that for me for Christmas or something. I have my Reiki crystals up here. I have all sorts of stuff. But I do cleanse, and I do my own little version of a prayer off camera. Just because I know some people are comfortable doing it on camera. It's my business. And I don't feel like I need to share that with everybody. So other things that I keep out here, I have this yellow candle for success. I have the evil eye stuff, the ham's a hand and whatever. It's not the evil eye really, but it guards against the evil eye. I work in front of a window. I don't need no stake energy from inside or outside. That stays there occasionally. I like that. I have my little thing that says I just want to sip coffee and pet my dog. Facts. I always tell the dogs no work, no Christmas. I got this really, really pretty little goddess coaster, but I can't bear the thought of actually putting hot drinks on it, so I keep it up here. And a green candle holder, green for abundance, full of pennies, because pennies are the foundation of any dollar. So I keep that on my goddess thing to grow my abundance. I have up here my little statues. I cannot remember the name of the seller. I got these on well, she has an Etsy shop, and then she was doing a live crystal sale on Instagram. So my goddess statue with little swirly, this is not amethyst, this is either fluorite or I can't remember the name, and then the rose quartz Venus bust. And then I have a little rose quartz tree that my middle child gave me, a little protection jar that I made some years ago, and I keep it. It was actually supposed to be able to be worn on a necklace. Don't ask me what's all in it because I don't remember now. I have a tendency to do things and then I forget, right? My soda light, because I like it. I got this color changing salt lamp. Here we go, it's show and tell time. I have this little thing that my youngest daughter got me. It says I love you to the moon and back. And I have this ring that I gave her on it. A thank you card from a different business endeavor that I was trying. And then I have this little thing. I got this Shrinky Dink plastic sheets, and I made a crystal ball. It says you are the magic, believe in yourself. To always try to encourage myself to push forward, because there are times when, you know, well, we all struggle, right? I've got these fortunes that I saved. One says don't wait for your ship to come in, swim out to it. I've used this in readings before. And you have a yearning for perfection. But this is a reminder, not only do I have a yearning for perfection, but not to get lost in the details, to appreciate the way things come through anyway. I have, with the Shrinky Dink stuff, I made little printed out pictures of my grandparents up here. And I have a little thing that says grateful on it, and some crystals there. Oh, anything else about me? I like music. My favorite music is all of it. Well, maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. I can't just pick one thing. Top several. Linkin Park, Selena, Eminem, Jewel, back in like 90s Jewel, Queen, Led Zeppelin, The Doors, everything, anything. Not really screamo, not really classical music. I'm always hearing songs. I'll be having a conversation or doing readings. I'm always getting songs. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's annoying. Favorite movies: Selena, Labyrinth. I will always love The Goblin King, right? Favorite books. Favorite author is Dean Koontz. Favorite book is The Watchers. Also Garfield comics. I live for Garfield comics. I don't really know what else to share. I like the fiber arts. I like to knit. I like to crochet. I love making stuff. I love anything creative. So what is going on with my bracelet here? I love all things creative. I like to sing, whether it sounds like singing or whether I sound like Scuttle from the Disney Little Mermaid. I like to dance, but with some physical issues that I've had in the past, it's kind of hard. And we have concrete floors at this house because reasons. So it's kind of hard to get down and boogie here. And yeah, I don't know what else to share, really. My dogs, my cats, my kids, my stuff. I'm brown, if that matters. I'm Hispanic. I'm half Mexican. The other half of me is a hot mess of, we've got Spanish, English, German, Irish, Italian, Cherokee. That's what I found out. So when I do research stuff and when I learn stuff, I try to learn from all different parts of my ethnic makeup as well. Okay, so I do read books about, like, you know, like Mexican healers and witches, but then I read books about, like, Native American practices, and then I read books about, like, Irish stuff or whatever. Like, I have books about everything. And I read about all different stuff. I have, I'm not big into organized religion personally, but different belief systems for sure. So I have, like, books about Buddhism. I have books pertaining to magic and energy work and crystals and candles and tarot and everything like that. Divination. I have, like, for divination, other things. I put together my own charm throwing kit, so I have that as well. What else? I am certified. I'm Reiki certified at level 1, level 2. I'm not certified as a Reiki master, as I have yet to decide whether I actually want to go for that certification, because I don't really have any intention to teach. And then I found out where I'm living and where I want to live requires you to have a massage therapist license to practice Reiki, even though it's energy healing and you don't have to touch anybody. So I'm like, that is a high dollar investment to make, to be able to use a gift to help other people where you don't have to touch them. So and I have no interest in massage therapy, right? I'm very particular about who I let in my energy, and I don't like to be touched by random people, so I don't want to touch random people either, right? I like coffee. That's decaf, though. I don't know what else to tell y'all about me. If you have any other questions, just hop on my Instagram or something and put them there. Let's get into this book. All right. I don't know how I stumbled upon it. I know I made an account on Goodreads. It's like you can keep track of the books you're reading and you can rate them and review them or whatever. And then, darn it, what was the other thing called? So Goodreads is where I was reading books, and then there's this Booksprout, I think is what it was called, where you can review books for authors, books that haven't been released yet or books that have been released. Very often, like originally I was given a free PDF or ebook copy to put on my Kindle of this book. No, lie. It was a different book. It was Spiritual Herbalism, is what I read. I was given a copy of that in return for an honest review to put on Booksprout and then copy that same review on Amazon. So even though I didn't purchase it, I did read the book and I did give an honest review. Which, if you want my review of A Spiritual Herbalism by Angela Grace, or what does she go by? Ascending Vibrations. My honest review was that I think it contains a wealth of information, but I also feel like it's like the starter book. I feel like if you were going to have like, because it talks about herbalism and then like connecting like herbal correspondences for each of our different chakras. And so I thought, well, this is all crammed in one book, right? And it's a beautiful book, and like I said, jam-packed with information, different recipes, and different reasons that the different things like correlate to your different chakras and stuff. But I also felt that like that's great for like quick on the go read. But if you really wanted to delve into it, part of my review was that she could literally make a separate book for each individual chakra and put that much more information in there. So that was my review for that. I don't just go out and give 5-star reviews. I don't know how many stars I'm going to give this one. She did offer, she thanked me. She asked me if I wanted to review any other books. She sent me books for free and asked me to review them at my leisure. And I did get her permission to review on here. And then I am going to go ahead and put a review on Booksprout and Amazon as well. So this one is called Protect Your Energy, the Book of Positive... Shush. The Book of Positive Vibrations and Toxic Energy Protection Secrets by Angela Grace, aka Ascending Vibrations. Alright, first of all, it's a quick read, right? It's very pretty. I like her books, are very pretty. Good size font, so it's not really straining on the eyes. There's always free gifts in her books as well, okay? So when you get her books, she, like this one comes with a bonus guided meditation. You could get, if you buy the book, you can get the audiobook for free with Audible. There's always gifts. So let's jump into what I thought so far. So far, this is really good. So far, a lot of this for me, is fairly basic knowledge as far as how our energy works and, what can affect it, okay? So, the basically, starting from the beginning, you have your aura, which is like your energy field around you, right? That is the energy or vibration that you emit. That is the energy or vibration you attract, generally, okay? It is possible for toxic energy to come into your auric field or your energetic field, and it can be, toxic energy can be brought by anything. I have a list here. I have notes on the side, y'all. It could be people. It could be your habits. If you have addictions, the way you think, things that you watch, what you listen to, places or situations that you may be in, and then environmental things like pollution and things like that, okay? It talks about, I found this really interesting. This is the first thing I noticed in here. Like, I literally had to, where was it? I had to highlight stuff because I was, I'll tell you why. Okay, so basically, she talks about with the toxic energy and the toxic people, the negative people that come into your life. It talks about energy vampires. If you're on a channel such as mine, I'm sure you're very aware of energy vampires. These are the people that come into your life around you that just like suck the energy out of you. They drain you. They just make you feel like drained and powerless and weak, and sometimes even physically ill, depending on their energies. And there are different types of energy vampires, and as I was reading the different types, I was kind of mind blown because my other friend, who I won't tell you his real name, but I did nickname him Hey Hey. So if you watch the channel, what's up, Hey Hey? He had suggested, because of some problems that I was having, to read The Celestine Vision by James Redfield. I'll put these in the link, the description box below, okay? And he told me to go to chapter 5, which is called Overcoming the Power Struggle. And in chapter 5 of that book, Mr. Redfield discusses basically how energy exchanges between people work, and he calls it control dramas. It's like the set of assumptions that people work with, and then the styles of interaction they have, right? So when I got to the part in this book about the different types of energy vampires, I was immediately reminded of his description of the different control dramas in the Celestine Vision. Which is funny because then I went to the back to all her references back here, right? And she actually didn't have that listed. So I don't know if she is aware of how closely related this is. So she listed the victim, the downer, the narcissist, the manipulator, the controller, and then the split. The split is an energy vampire that constantly switches up. One day they can be you know, a victim. The next day they can be a manipulator. The next day they can be, you know, a controller. You know, it's like they never quite stay in one energy, but they're always draining you somehow, right? And where this correlates to the control dramas in the Celestine Vision is Mr. Redfield talked about the poor me. Okay, when you have an energy exchange with somebody who's a poor me, that would be like the equivalent of the victim or the downer for the energy vampire. It's always the person who's always down on their luck and poor me, and they're just always a victim somehow. And it's just draining, like no matter what, like you can never give them a good solution because it will always be negative to them, okay? And then the next one he discusses is the aloof, which is like that person that breadcrumbs you, right? Like you, oh, hey, where are you from? And they're like, around. And you're like, oh, okay, well, what brings you here? Just seeing what I could say. And they don't ever really give you any details. But then when you go, oh, okay, like, cool, got it, and you try to walk away from them, then they realize that they're not getting that energy from you, and then they come back and say something else to draw you back in to keep you going. And so for me, the aloof breadcrumber would be kind of like a manipulator, as far as energy vampires. Then he talks about the interrogator, which would be like a controller and a manipulator, okay? Because that is the type of person who, why are you doing this way? Why are you doing that this way? You should do it this way. Who thinks that they always know the right way and everybody else is doing it wrong. And it's kind of like that, if you ever been part of like a friend group where the one person always has to control what everybody else is doing and tries to check everybody else to keep everyone in line. And the reason they do that is because there's something within their own lives that they feel completely out of control of, and they don't know how to regain control of it. So they try to what is the word? Project that outwardly and try to control everyone and everything around them. So that would be the interrogator, which is kind of manipulator, controller energy. And then, so for the other control drama in the Celestine Vision, the worst one is the intimidator. Well, the intimidator would be like the narcissist, the manipulator, the controller, and kind of a split that goes through all of them. It's like the worst one. It's like the karmic, basically, in tarot, right? So I found the connections there interesting. If you find yourself in conflicts with other people and you find that it always goes a certain way, this book and the Celestine Vision, Chapter 5, okay, would be excellent starting points for you to kind of see what you're dealing with. Like when you read it, sometimes it makes more sense, and then see how to deal with it, okay? So this book talks about how toxic energy damages your aura from the outside in, from your very outer layer, which is like your spiritual and what connects you with the divine, all the way into your mental and then to your emotional and to your physical, okay? So I used to do this thing where I'd be like, put my arms out like this all the way around me, be like, this is my space bubble and you're invading my space bubble. And we used to laugh about it, and everyone was like, you're such a dork. And I'm like, I know, but this is my space bubble, so like back the F up, right? Like, this is mine. And I never realized that it's literally, this is my space bubble. Like, how far I could stretch my arms out at the very least is my space bubble. That's my energetic field. Like, when you come past this, you're too much in my energy, and if our energies don't mesh, like, you're gonna upset me. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, start paying attention to when, like, people are around you, the closer they get to you. Like, if you're arguing with somebody from 10 feet across the room, it still sucks, right? But if you are within arm's distance of each other, the energy is a lot different. It's a lot more volatile. It's a lot more disturbing, right? Because it's bumping up against your energetic field. So what happens is that negative people and negative, there's a lot of things that can affect us, our energies negatively, besides people too, right? Because there's people, there's situations that you can get into, there's it can be affected by how well you take care of yourself. Are you sleeping enough? Is your hygiene good? Do you spend enough time outside? Do you spend any time grounding? What is your diet like? What kind of foods and drinks are you putting into your body? Do you have any bad habits? I smoke cigarettes. I should quit, right? I smoke ultralights, but the next best step would be to quit. So that affects me. What else? Your thought patterns, any assumptions that you hold on to, any negative thoughts, can affect your energy as well, and affect like your auric field and stuff. It talks about that in here. What else did I have written down here? In addition to that, like pollutants in the air, in the environment, the working on computers all day, being around power lines, just everything affects you, okay? A big one is she has a whole chapter on media control and collective consciousness in here. This talks about the things that we feed ourselves through TV, through radio, through print media, which is like newspapers, magazines, books, articles online, anything like that. Social media, the news. Watching the news is a huge one for me. And the thing of it is there is a lot of negativity that is put out to us worldwide as a collective, and there is a lot of conflicting narratives about every different situation going on. Like it's not even just two sides at this point. It's like everybody has their own point of view about it, and everybody's just clashing. When I really noticed this, the effect that this was having on me personally, was I was scrolling through Instagram one day, and I had seen that Madonna had posted a video about how sickened she was that this had taken place, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? So I clicked on it, turned the volume on, and it was the George Floyd video. I'm not going to get in an argument with anybody here, so if you come in my comments and try to start shit about this, I will just delete your comment and block you, okay? So, because that's not the purpose of this discussion. I'm just going to disclaimer that right now. But what happened energetically, I felt so physically ill and just started sobbing at my kitchen table. It was so horrific to watch, and I could not stomach it. Like, I couldn't look away, but I couldn't stomach it, right, at the same time. And I started realizing that, like, the more news I watched and the more conflict I paid attention to, like, I had to stop going on Twitter. Twitter is horrible for that. I had to stop going on Twitter. I kind of backed off of Facebook a lot. I started filtering what I was watching on Instagram after that. I really had to pull back because it was just making me physically ill. So be careful, like, with the things that you feed yourself. The music that you listen to, if it's depressing, if it's angry. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes love and light is hard to maintain some days, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I will go in my vehicle and I will put on Linkin Park, and I will turn it all the way as loud as it goes and listen to Chester Bennington scream his lungs out at top volume. Rest in peace. That broke my heart too. But sometimes, because you need an outlet too, right? And I can't really go outside and do any grounding or earthing because we have fire ants in the yard and giant wolf spiders, and I'm not putting my bare feet in that. So, so there's that. So what can you do to manage and protect your energy? Several different methods are discussed in this book as well, okay? Like I said before, she talks about what you eat and what you drink, your sleep, your hygiene, how you exercise and take care of your physical body, grounding your energies, get outside, you know, close your eyes and turn your face to the sun. You know, that feels good. Things that I would add in there: pay attention to your habits, pay attention to the directions that your thoughts go. If you have trouble with some of that, grab a notebook. A notebook is what, like $1 or less for the cheapest one, and a pen, okay? And journal. You can either journal, like literally write journal entries. You could start a gratitude journal. Just every day do, maybe we'll start that on the channel before the readings. We'll start with like 3 things that we're grateful for that day. At the beginning of the readings, we might add that. So, I have an app that I use for affirmations. I get an affirmation per hour from 9 a.m. through 10 p.m. It's a lot, but I write down every single one in a notebook every single day. I pick a color that kind of matches the theme of the affirmation. If they're more love, I go with pink. If they're more like material and abundance affirmations, I go green. If it's like a kind of a mix of everything, I go purple. So lately I've been on purple. And the affirmations help because every hour it's like it puts a halt on your thoughts and steers them back in the right direction. What was I going to say? Any negative thoughts that you have, negative thoughts or assumptions that you have in journaling, you can also write down the negative statement that you're having, especially if it's about yourself, right? Write it down so you can see what it looks like in sentence form, right? Like, I don't know enough, or I'm not as good as other tarot readers on YouTube. Okay? We'll just go there. And then change that into a positive statement. I'm just as good as anyone else. I do it in my own way. I'm very aware that I don't read the same way as other readers on YouTube. And that's okay. I still go and watch. Oh my gosh. I like inhale tarot readings on YouTube for so many reasons. One, because there's what I read for myself, what I put on the channel might not be exactly the same message, right? Then if I go watch somebody else do the reading and watch all my placements on theirs, I get other messages that I didn't get. I also watch how readers, how they, if multiple cards come out, right, how they will put them together to figure out what they're saying and learn different meanings for the cards and stuff. Because there's still times, even on the channel, I will grab this little book here. I'll get like a weird card comes out in reverse and I've never had it before. And I'm like, I'm not going to lie to you. If I've never had it in reverse, I don't know how the hell to read that. I got to go get keywords and see where it fits in there. It's like context clues. So yeah, journaling and changing negative statements or beliefs or assumptions that you have about yourself and then rewriting those as positive statements, that actually turns it into an affirmation for you, okay? Literally, that whole thing is I am good enough, right? Meditation is helpful if you are able to quiet your mind enough to do so. If you're not able to independently quiet your mind enough to do so, there are, I don't know, about a bajillion guided meditations available that you can use. She also discusses energy healing, such as Reiki and Qigong, okay? And then she talks about biofield therapies, which I'm not familiar with, but in there is Reiki and healing touch, and then she talks about pranic healing, which I'm also not familiar with. So I'm going to go through and probably learn more about those personally. Acutherapies she talks about, that's acupuncture and acupressure. Acupuncture is with the little needles that they put, the little pins that you put. I don't like needles, so that would never work for me. So I could definitely work more with acupressure, which works with pressure points on your meridians and stuff, if you're familiar with that. And then crystal healing, because every crystal is formed differently, right? I know the lighting in here sucks, sorry. But every one of these crystals is formed slightly different than the one prior. Different colors, different forms. And the thought behind crystals is that since everything is made of energy, the energy that it took to make this crystal, everything wiggled around into this shape, but then it wiggled around different to make this formation, and then it wiggled around differently to make this formation. And it makes sense if everything is atoms and energy, right? That makes sense. So if it was constructed of energy, then it would make sense that there's energy within the crystal, right? And each energy can be measured. Some people say this is a pseudoscience. I don't think it is. I think this is legit. So just put that out there for full transparency. I believe in crystal healing, okay? But it stands to reason then that if these were created by energy, then they emit a certain energy at certain frequencies, much like sound and music, right? And then would have different properties for healing and whatnot, for energy work, which is why different crystals are associated with different chakras as well. So I guess to add to that, for negative energy, I would actually have to suggest that if it's not in here, I haven't read it like 100%, but I've gotten through most of this. I would then add sound healing as well. You know, jingling a bell in a space that's been just kind of like a heavy energy or negative energy. A happy bell, okay? Like something like something that makes you think of like Tinkerbell, you know, would clear the energy and kind of reset. Also, the singing bowl or playing happy music or looking up healing frequencies and playing different frequencies. Also, withdrawing from negative energy altogether. It's not always possible, but you know, if somebody really makes you feel like shit, like why keep, I have the hiccups now, why keep putting yourself around them? You know, there is nothing wrong with cutting people off to protect yourself, especially if they don't bring anything but toxicity to the table. There is no sense in punishing yourself and forcing yourself to deal with that. Then you're doing yourself an injustice. That's unfair. And why would you do that to yourself? Another thing I like to do, some people use different sprays or oils. Some people draw symbols. Some people hang things. I have little evil eye things all over the house. I have little cinnamon brooms all over the house. Some people, myself included, like to smoke cleanse. You can use incense to clear the energy because it's just soothing. Like, it becomes soothing. You can burn sage. I am not going to go into the whole gatekeeping thing, and don't bring that shit to my comments either about the gatekeeping about sage. As somebody who has indigenous blood and as somebody who really doesn't care for gatekeeping, I'm going to say that I'm not out on the side of the road stealing it from the wild. I only buy like from one, probably every bundle of sage I've ever bought is probably from the same provider. So wherever they get it from is where they get it from. And sometimes that's not nice, Gracie. Why are you doing that? Gosh, these puppies, I tell you. Sometimes I like to make my own blends. So I like to take white sage and put it through, I use a coffee bean grinder. So I'll blend up white sage, dried lavender, rose petals, maybe like some dehydrated orange peels, stuff like that. I will blend it all together. I will like grind it all up because my hands hurt too bad most of the time to use my mortar and pestle to do it by hand. So I use the coffee bean grinder, and then I put it in a jar that I have around here somewhere. And I use these little charcoal discs that you can, let me see if I can get this out of here. They come in these little packages, right? I have like a whole box of these little charcoal discs here like this. You've probably seen them. When you light them, they spark up all weird and stuff. And bless my family, they've gotten me 2 little mini cast iron cauldrons. And so I will spark the disc up and heat it up in the cauldron, and then just take a little spoonful of my little homemade incense with the sage and the lavender and all this stuff. And it smells really good, and it cleanses the space. It relaxes me. So that is also an option for clearing out negative energy and just kind of recharging yourself. So overall, this is a good book. I have 2 more that I'll be reading and reviewing, and I don't remember the names of them off the top of my head. So you'll find out when I go and find them and remember. But I think that's it. So that covers about me. That covers this book review. Thanks for anybody who came and watched this video. Thank you for anybody who subscribed to the channel prior to now, and thank you to everybody who subscribes from here on out. I appreciate you guys a lot. It makes me feel like I am reaching people. Like, if you subscribe, it makes me feel like I am helping someone. I know, like I said before, I know I said I don't read like a lot of other readers. I see a lot of readers that are very focused on love readings. I have a lot of personal feelings about that, because yes, while we can absolutely use tarot for that, I feel that there are other things that we can use tarot for as well. I'm more focused on personal growth and learning lessons, okay? Because when we learn lessons, then we get to go learn a different one. Like, we learn one lesson, we go to a different one, and hopefully it gets easier and we make more progress and end up at a good spot, right? So, so if you're more into, like, you know, your soulmate's going to come back in 3 weeks and you're going to live happily ever after, my channel might not be the one. If it comes out in the cards like that on the table, I will read it as such, for sure. I will probably groan about it and make a remark about it, but I will read it as such. If if it comes out, when the cards come out and it could give me like, it could go 2 different ways, I will try to read it both ways. If I'm not sure, I will clarify the hell out of the reading. And if I'm still not sure, I'm going to tell you this is a hot mess and I have no idea what the hell's going on here. I don't try to sugarcoat anything or bullshit you into thinking that I know everything, because I sure don't. And no matter how much I learn, I probably will never learn it all. And I'm okay with that. As long as progress is made, right? So anyway, enough. That's it. And I will see you guys in future videos. Most likely a reading. I'm going to try to start working on the monthly readings. So stay blessed. Bye.